So the holidays are interesting. They're interesting because everyone here in this room is having a completely different experience than anyone else. And you've got all this talk about what is Christmas, Merry Christmas, instead of Happy Holidays. What is all of this? Do you realize that between Thanksgiving and like January 1st, there are 16 holidays worldwide? So let's explore a little bit about it, because I want to understand what is the meaning of this holiday season. This way we can all come to what is the understanding of everything that's happening out there. How does this all come in and resonate, and how do we live with it all and live in oneness? So, Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving really starts it for us here. And what is Thanksgiving about? It's about recognizing our blessings and appreciating everything that's good in our lives. In other words, we go within. The only way that you can be grateful is you go within and you give thanks for that which is in your life. For me, Thanksgiving is my favorite of all holidays throughout the year. For me, that day symbolizes, there's not as much commercialism for me. It's about just being grateful. Yeah, we do have the parades. We have these turkeys. I have my tofurkey and things of that nature, but it's about giving thanks. Because if you're giving thanks, can you really be sad? When you're giving thanks and you're grateful, you're in a good place. If you're not giving thanks, that's when sadness comes in. Hanukkah celebrates the faith that keeps the light when the darkness is inevitable. In other words, the story of Hanukkah is about this light. They didn't have enough, fuel for it. They didn't think it was going to go on and on and on. But yet, through the whole thing, the light burned. And so the symbolism of Hanukkah is that light within is always burning. That light within is always within us. It's just that we tend to cover it up and mask the light with all of the nonsense of human ego, and we don't go within to feel it, to see it, to sense it, and know it. But the light is there. The winter solstice. It's really interesting about the winter solstice because the winter solstice is the shortest day of the year. It is the darkest day of the year. And so in paganism, they celebrate it because now they know the light is coming back. The light is coming back, and the light will grow, and so it's very symbolic. And when the Bible was written in 325 AD, they put the birth of Jesus right there next to the solstice when the Bible says that Jesus was probably really born like in August. But the Romans were trying to blend paganism and Christianity into a common religion, so they said, okay, Jesus represents this light of the world. Let's bring it in with the solstice where the light begins and goes further. So there's deep symbolism there with the solstice. Then we come to Christmas, where we honor the birth of a new possibility. We honor the birth of a child that is without limitation, that has got everything going for it. It's free, no matter what happens, whether Herod is coming for it or where it's born, whatever. This child is the light of the world, and you've got the star shining above it, and you've got the star within it. So again, it's about the light. And then you've got Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa celebrates community and unity in diversity. So Kwanzaa is really about the fact that the light exists in all of us. So let's stop pretending that we're separate, and let's awaken to the fact that in this human form, it's just a mask that we wear. It doesn't matter what our ethnicity is, what our sexuality is, where we come from. It doesn't matter any of that, because inside we're soul. And soul is an aspect of the divine. And the divine is present in each of us, and we make the divine whole by our unique expression. Do you hear that? We were brought here to be unique. We were not brought here to be like anyone else. We were brought here to give our gifts in only the unique way that we could do that. So Christmas is a time, I use it as awakening to my unique light, and how can I express it? And it's not just Christmas Day, it's every day. How do you awaken to it? You got New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Think about that. You're acknowledging the release of the past, and you're stepping into the future. It's all the same thing. Do you hear it? We've made it into all these special holidays, but it's all about awakening to the light. The only purpose each of these holidays has is to remind us that we are here for love. When we love, we become the light. I want to talk about that for just a few moments. When I love you, I accept you as you are. Does it get any simpler than that? So when you're ever saying something, so Brian was up on the stage with Stephanie asking her if she would be his partner for the rest of their lives together. When Brian asked her that, he did that with the intention of knowing that this light within her causes the light within him to shine brighter. And so he wants to bring that union into their partnership so that they're there to support and grow each other and raise their light together. And as they raise their light, obviously it's going to affect the child, Bo, because Bo's going to experience the light. It's going to. His mother's sitting right there as well. She's going to be lifted. All of the family's going to be lifted. Stephanie, she's young. Do you realize she's got a grandson the same age as Bo? How does that happen? Oh, infinite possibilities. So it's about raising the light. So the question I ask you is why or where are you hiding your light? And is this the time of year? Is it this day, this very day, as Trans-Siberian Orchestra would say, this very special Christmas day? Are you willing to step into your uniqueness? Are you willing to let your light show? Are you willing to stop doing things to please others? And rather, are you willing to be your unique self? That's a deep question. Because in order to step into that uniqueness, you've got to let go. You've got to let go of all that is not serving you. Whether it be ideas, whether it be jobs, whether it be people, whether it be spouses, whether it be parents, it may even be children. There comes a time when we have to let go and find out what is it that my soul is longing to express. And in that expression, I want to be with the light that supports me as I do that. It's simple to understand, isn't it? It's not easy to live because we have egos. See, if we were all just living from our soul side, this would flow. But we have an ego, and the ego wants to control, and the ego brings us back and forth into contrast. Contrast is part of life. So at Christmas, if you're at a family gathering, I don't know about you, when I was young, I was a part of an Italian family, and there were 4 kids on my mother's thing with all these other cousins. And then there, on my father's side, he had 9 brothers and sisters with a gazillion cousins. And if you were at Busha's house on Christmas Eve, which we always were, there was chaos everywhere. And I mean, alcohol. My family was an alcoholic family beyond belief. All of the brothers and sisters and the grandmother were all alcoholics. And so in any moment, things could go flying. When I say flying, I'm talking about flying. There would be kielbasa flying across the room. Someone might throw kapusta. There could be cards. It didn't matter. There was chaos. Now, how in the light of that do you see God? How in the light of it do you see love? I want you to know, I miss it. I really miss that chaos. Because it was so innocent. It was just people not understanding how to get along. And if you could sit back with the awareness, you could watch it with no attachment. And it's better than TV. Think about that. If you got a crazy family like that, you go, oh my God. And what's amazing is all those crazy genes are in me. And I used to express those genes very well when I drank. And my wife will be a testimonial to that someday. But I stopped that in order to get and become more aware. Because I wanted to be aware. I wanted to live knowing, controlling, what am I seeing? How am I being in the world? Am I being love? Because I'll tell you what, when you're numb to it, we go right into judgment. And I'm telling you, when we go into judgment, there cannot be love. Think about that this holiday. The second you are in judgment over anything, you are not loving. So when you judge, it's a gift for you to say, bring you back to love. Bring me back to love. The second judgment happens, bring me back to love. If you're with your partner and they're doing something you don't like, bring me back to love and accept where they are. If your child is doing something you don't like, bring me back to love and understand they've got a different agenda. You know, a 2-year-old is not just going to sit still in a church like this. Do you get that? They're 2. They haven't been conditioned to do all this nonsense. And in some ways, it's nonsense. It's better off if we just played together. I go back to the age of 7. And I'm going to share this memory with you because I want you to find this memory for yourself. I was dressed in a white shirt, 7 years old, about this high. I had a white tie on. I had navy blue pants on with my little black belt, and I had my little black shoes on with my black things, and I was part of the 2nd grade choir at Sacred Heart Church in Dearborn, Michigan. And we had the honor that year of singing at midnight mass in the balcony above, you know, back, way in the back. And I can remember so clearly at that age of 7, walking up the little, very narrow spiral staircase, and a feeling just came over me. I don't know what it was. And I can remember I was in the front row, and I looked out, and you could look down, and you could see the whole church in front of you. And there was the altar, and you started to sing our song, and everyone turned and looked at us. And in that moment, every cell in my being came alive. And tears, for no reason, streamed down my face. And I couldn't put it into words at 7, but I uncovered the meaning of Christmas. Christmas is about feeling love. It's about being love. And the only way you can feel and be love is within yourself. It does not come from outside. It comes from inside. So as you live this day, think back to your life and remember, when did you feel that love? And how can you become that love today? They say you cannot experience the heaven until you come from it with the mind and the heart of a child. Isn't it time today that we stop growing up and we step into Christmas and we become the child, we become the unique expression, we become love? Let's pray. I want to thank you for joining us today. I'm so grateful that you took your time to watch or listen to this message. If you found this message beneficial, I would ask that you go to our website, agapecsl.com. Once there, click on the donate button and experience the joy of conscious and purposeful giving. Or if you would like, text your gift by simply dialing 972-532-6976. It is through your gifts that we are able to bring this message to you in the world. I would ask that if you like this message, to please subscribe to my YouTube channel under my name, Lee Wolak. Again, I want to thank you for joining me in the Agape community as we learn how to better self-love through conscious living.